Hola, hola, mis amigos. How you guys all doing today? So I just wanted to hop on here today, guys, and see if we could watch a couple videos together and talk about the Maya train. Kind of curious about your guys' opinion on it. See what you guys think, good or bad. Let me know in the comments. Don't be shy. I'll just hang on a few seconds, guys, for a couple people to hop on. Get going here. Sorry I didn't give any notice today. I wasn't sure if I was going to be going live because of my internet. Yesterday I had no internet for, well, pretty much all day, all night. It went out around 1 o'clock yesterday, and I got up this morning and it was working again. So I had no internet at all yesterday, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go live today. So I just kind of left it up in the air. One second, my friend. Oh, bicycle path. Okay, so I just seen this, looking at George's property that he's involved in, and there was a word I didn't know what it meant. So I asked him what it was to do with his the property that he's trying to sell, and it's for bike paths. Everything else was in English, but I didn't quite understand the bike paths. Let's see. So Clovia. Oh, I guess yeah, bikes. I've never heard it called that before. Ciclovia, because in Spanish it's bicicleta. So that must mean bike paths. Good enough. You learn something new every day. All right, guys, we'll get going here. We'll watch this video together. Tell me what you guys think. What's your opinion? Kind of curious. Fire this bad boy up. So this is not my video, guys, but there's so many online. So instead of just cropping it and, making it like it was my own, I thought we'd just do it this way since I have this fancy program. And we can watch this together. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up or say something in the comments if you can hear this okay. Let's get at her. Check it out. We'll watch this. It's like 5 minutes long, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll watch another one if you're up for it. If not, no worries. We'll make this short and sweet today, my friends. Jennifer is still in Vegas, so I'm here by myself. Just me and little CC. He's over there sleeping on the couch, all quiet for now. Try not to get him barking here.
To build the first inter-country railway is officially on in North America, and Mexico is destined to not come in last place. Tren Maya, also known as Mayan Train, is a proposed intercity railway throughout Mexico that began construction in 2020. The system is slated to stretch nearly 1,000 miles upon its completion, with a goal of connecting favorite tourist destinations in the Caribbean to less visited sites further inland. Many of these sites are ancient Mayan artifacts, which influence the project's title. There has been far-reaching support from the Mexican citizens to the nation's government for the project. However, there has also been a considerable amount of pushback due to a number of concerns. In September of 2018, then President-elect Andrés Manuel López Obrador released the first version of the Mayan Train project. This new plan, inspired by previous proposals of systems running roughly 600 miles, was deemed by many of Obrador's political opponents as impossible and nothing more than a campaign tool. Despite the backlash, once officially taking office, Obrador set out to prove this was not a mere campaign tool. In November of 2019, the president announced an official referendum regarding Tren Maya to be held a month later in the Mexican states of Chiapas, Tabasco, Campeche, Yucatan, and Quintana Roo. the locations where the train was to be constructed. During the weekend of the vote, more than 90% of participants in the relevant states voted in favor of the project. It wasn't without controversy, however, as the Mexican Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights heavily criticized the circumstances and the outcome of the vote. They stated that voters were only provided with the potential benefits of the project, while the long list of potential negative effects were not mentioned. They also critiqued a myriad of additional circumstances of the vote, including the translation of the material used, the low turnout of primarily indigenous women, and the short time frame. The office argued that the majority of the voters in the area simply did not have the financial means to afford to attend the vote, and thus it was not an accurate poll of the locals' desires. Obrador's administration denied the claims and said that the consultation of the vote met the predetermined international standards, deemed underway. Funding for Tren Maya plans to come primarily from a tourist tax in all of the relevant regions. The government will also pull funds from additional locations, such as revenues gained from the Mexican Grand Prix. Initially, in 2018, the National Fund for Tourism Development, which was tasked with managing the project, estimated the total cost of Tren Maya to be 150 billion pesos, or around 7.4 billion US dollars. This figure was widely criticized, however, when a local policy think tank released its own assessment and estimate of the project, over $25 billion. In light of public pressure, the National Fund for Tourism Development revised their official estimate in October of 2021 to 200 billion pesos, or north of 10 billion USD. Construction first broke ground on December 16, 2018, when President Obrador conducted an ancient Mayan ritual to commemorate the beginning of the process. The current plan includes 7 sections of track, each connecting cities that are roughly 155 miles apart on average. Since then, remarkable progress has been made. President Obrador, on the other hand, is much more optimistic in his estimates. He has stated multiple times that the entirety of Tren Maya's construction will be completed by the end of his term, scheduled for 2024. But most experts agree that his timeline is much too aggressive and is extremely unlikely. Outside of the likely exaggerated timeline of Obrador, outside parties have had numerous other issues with the project. Firstly, environmental activists have been extremely wary of the rail system, as its construction in the jungles of the area is likely to greatly dilute the natural beauty of the surrounding area, while also adding to pollution. However, officials and fans of the initiative are quick to respond that, once everything is said and done, the number of jobs that it will have created, as well as the huge boost in the economy of the Yucatan Peninsula, is well worth the dilution of the jungle. After all, connecting popular tourist destinations such as Cancun to inland places that are much less visited, such as El Triunfo or Bacalar, serves only to boost the popularity of the region and Mexican culture as a whole. When everything is said and done, the citizens of Mexico and the millions of tourists that travel to the Caribbean each year will have a cutting-edge way to visit and discover lesser-known destinations within Mexico's inland. Not only that, Tren Maya will also serve as the perfect jumping-off point for future Mexican administrations to build upon, eventually leading to a cross-Mexican high-speed rail system. In the race to North American bragging rights for the first and best cross-country train public transit service, Mexico might just have put itself in the lead. Thanks for watching.
That's pretty interesting. Sorry about that. I had to switch cameras here. The other one kind of went to a split screen again. I don't know why it does that, but it does. All right. So, my opinion on that is I hope and pray that it's going to be a good thing for the economy, for the people of Mexico, without too much environmental impact, I'm hoping. So that's kind of what we all would hope, I would imagine, right? Just give me 1 second here, guys. We're going to bring up another screen here. Okay, so this video here is a little bit longer and goes into a little bit more detail. So if you guys want to sit back and check this out with me. So I'm excited for this train. I heard it's going to be relatively cheap for the locals anyway. I don't know the exact cost. I heard one, but I'm not going to say what it is because I can't confirm it, so I'm not 100% sure. But I heard it's going to be fairly affordable anyway for the locals. And I believe it's going to do more good than harm. But I do have some concerns, so we'll watch this other short little video. This one's a little bit longer, guys, and then we'll go from there. So we'll get this one underway, my friends.
Mexico. If you're looking for sandy beaches, ancient ruins and a taco or two, then this is your place. Every year, tourists flock to popular sites along this stretch of land called the Yucatan Peninsula. But getting here isn't easy, and bus rides to some of these hotspots can take several hours at best. Until now. Mexico is building a massive new railway across the peninsula called Tren Maya. Over 1,500 kilometers of track will run through the jungle, connecting major ruin sites, beaches and hotels. But ever since construction began, the project's faced a serious backlash, and works have even been halted on some occasions. Environmentalists and indigenous communities say the train poses a threat to the region, and they want the current plans derailed.
I am not systematically against the train. I am against the train the way it's being done right now.
Meanwhile, officials passionately believe that the positive economic gains will far outweigh any negatives, and are running the project full speed ahead. Welcome to the $10 billion railway in the jungle. Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula is the place to be, nestled in the...
Okay, so he said $10 billion, but they've surpassed that greatly. So we'll just add that in there now. I believe it's at, they predict 25, yeah, around 25. Almost double what they predicted. So, okay, we'll carry on, guys. They say, leave me a comment, let me know what your opinion is about the Mayan train, good, bad.
The country's southeastern corner between the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, there's white sand, snorkeling and resorts. But it wasn't always like this. 50 years ago, many big cities in the region were still relatively undeveloped, and much of the economy relied on agriculture. Then, in the 1970s, Mexico began building hotels and airports in cities like Cozumel and Cancun. Now, millions flock here every year. But long before the tourists arrived, this area was home to one of the largest Mayan communities, a historical civilization of indigenous people dating back thousands of years. Many of the structures they built, like pyramids and temples, still exist today, and they've become popular spots for sightseeing. Chichen Itza is one of those Mayan cities full of ancient ruins. Tourists normally navigate these destinations through Mexico's bus network, starting in Cancun, but it can all be a bit slow. The ride to Chichen Itza is a 6-hour round trip at best, and that's a lot of time to spend on a bus. To sort this all out, in 2018 the country announced one of its biggest infrastructure projects yet, a 1,500 kilometer rail network called the Mayan Train, or Tren Maya in Espanol. It'll start from Cancun Airport and loop around the Yucatan Peninsula, stopping at places like Chichen Itza, Tulum, and the Riviera Maya, a cracking stretch of Caribbean coastline. Most of the route will go through areas that have already been cleared for use, including over the tracks of a previous rail network that was never fully completed. 21 stations, 17 stops and 42 trains on its rails, the network could transport over 40,000 passengers every day, as well as cargo. The near $10 billion project is headed by the National Fund for the Promotion of Tourism, or Fonatur, a Mexican government agency, and it's funded by tourist taxes.
Okay, I'll just pause that there for a second again, guys. As he said, it's going to also haul cargo as well as passengers, so that's pretty beneficial for sure. There's a lot of big trucks on the highways here, lots. So that's going to eliminate some truck traffic, pollution as well, obviously, and safety as well. So make the highways a little bit safer. Obviously, the less people on the roads traveling, the safer it's going to be for everybody. So that's kind of a bonus that they're going to also be hauling goods and services. Goods. Okay, let's carry on.
When it opens, passengers are going to be able to ride on one of three types of trains: standard, restaurant and long-term stay trains. Their exterior design is inspired by Mayan culture and they can reach speeds of up to 160 kilometers an hour. That's
160 kilometers an hour, wow, that's good. So you'll be reaching your destination, excuse me, rather quickly.
quite a bit faster than a bus. Construction started in 2020 and it's going to be completed in 7 sections across 2 major phases, with the first aiming to open in 2023. The northern section will connect Cancun and Playa del Carmen, while the southern run will link the southern portion of Playa del Carmen to Tulum. And this phase will be fully electric. Construction teams are working on sites that stretch over huge distances, contending with remote locations, a jungle environment, and that extreme heat and humidity. Now, despite being led by Mexico's tourism agency, the train's out to benefit a lot more than just the tourists. It promises to generate thousands of local jobs and contribute to the economic development of the Yucatan Peninsula. But not everyone is aboard for the ride. Some fear Tren Maya won't economically benefit the smaller communities it aims to connect, and will simply serve tourists and the wealthy, or that only more established resorts will see gains. While construction is making use of the previous train network, these tracks are being widened because of new train technology, and that's where the biggest controversy lies. Wider tracks means more people and more landscape being cleared to make way. Now, many locals are pushing back. The list of legal issues people have with the project is long. Over 25 injunctions have been filed so far.
Wow.
Despite the train having Maya in its name and design, many indigenous communities are strongly opposed to it. They say it threatens existing and potentially undiscovered historic sites. Officials are supposed to notify...
Okay, so that there, I'm going to pause it again. That's pretty concerning. Now, yeah, I find that very concerning, but I'm, again, the benefit of the doubt, I would hope that they will do the right thing and, try to make it as, I don't know how you want to say, to just be as gentle as possible and as delicate as possible. And maybe if they do come across something that's like totally sacred or whatever, they'll maybe go around it and try to preserve it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking they would probably do, or do their best to preserve it. And if they do unearth something that they've never discovered before, then that's also a bonus because they're finding artifacts that have yet to be discovered. So that's definitely a bonus, I would think. So anyway, we'll carry on.
By communities about the project, but indigenous leaders claim they weren't fully informed of the extent of the train's impact and that only the benefits were mentioned. They also say many of these meetings weren't presented in the locals' first language. The Mexican government maintains it made agreements with the local communities by holding assemblies and continues to offer a permanent open dialogue. As for the unknown sites, well, a team of archaeologists from Fonatur has been working to document anything excavated along the route, and so far they've recorded more than 19,000 artefacts and 160 burials. But artefacts aren't the only thing being uprooted.
The last year, the Mexican government announced that they needed to evict about 3,000 families in the whole Yucatan Peninsula. In Campeche City, there were like 300 families about to get evicted.
While some have been offered housing, many aren't pleased with that alternative.
The housing in mining communities are different from the Western house. They have a different design and different dynamics. Sometimes there are some really strong doubts about the materials that they are using, because you can't just use any material in any place, because you have the climate, the weather, the geography, and other factors that you have to really take care about, because that could compromise the quality of life of some families in their houses.
Okay, so that's the first. I've never watched this video, guys. So this is the first time I'm watching it here with you right now. So that's terrible. Like, if these are facts, that's terrible. I don't like hearing that at all. But I did hear on a previous video that I watched that they only told the people the good side of the train, not the downfall of the negative side of building this Mayan train. They were only informed of the good side, and they kind of downplayed the negative side. So that's not good either if that actually happened. So it will carry on.
Meanwhile, a rail project connecting Mexico's famous beaches to archaeological site has become a major environmental hazard.
With parts of the track running directly through rainforests, savannas and mangroves, many activists are concerned about its impact on the peninsula's endangered species.
If you open up a new avenue for fragmentation and for colonization by people, that is going to destroy the jaguar habitat in that area. There's no place for that train to go along that route in the south of the Yucatan Peninsula.
So far, construction has already led to 120 square kilometres of jungle being cleared and nearly 9 million trees being chopped down.
This is the largest rainforest north of the Panama Isthmus. The next one is the Amazon. We cannot afford to lose it to this kind of thing.
The government argues that trains are more environmentally friendly than highways and that the railway's impact won't be too extensive because most of the route runs through existing tracks. Officials also say mitigation strategies like overpasses and underpasses will allow wildlife to cross safely. But that's not enough for some opponents.
A mega project can work and would benefit people. It takes like between 55 to 30 years through the design and implementation. Here is the opposite. They are in a rush.
Yeah, now back to what that other guy said previously. He likes the Mayan train, but he doesn't like the way they're going about it and feels that it's kind of rushed. And I kind of feel that way too, and I do have some concerns that I'll bring up at the very end. Safety concerns that I'm wondering about. So anyway, this is just about over, guys. We'll finish watching this up. A couple minutes left here. Thanks for hopping on and watching, guys.
Until recently, the
appreciate
project has shown no signs of touching the brakes, but then in 2022, Tren faced setbacks when the government announced part of it would be suddenly rerouted.
The hotels in Cancun and Tulum and all of that area decided that they did not want the train right there because it was going to disrupt the traffic to the hotels.
The new route would go over an historic and sacred set of underwater caverns, a move that could put them at the risk of collapsing.
That aquifer is absolutely the key for the development of life in the peninsula, human life or natural life. We lose that, that's the end of the peninsula.
People voiced their concerns and a court ordered a temporary suspension. Not too long after that, construction of another section of the track was temporarily suspended. While many communities have voiced their opposition to Tren Maya, several others welcome the train's proposed economic impact. Government figures show about 80% of communities are in support of the project, with many pointing out that parts of the jungle have been cleared out before for similar developments. The United Nations Human Settlements believes the project will cut poverty by 15% and double economic growth by 2030. The train would allow local farms to transport goods more easily. It's clear there are mixed opinions on both sides of the tracks, but despite the disagreements, Rodrigo hopes to meet somewhere in the middle.
We really need to hit the brakes and think about a better territorial arrangement, territorial organization of what we want to do with the Yucatan Peninsula, together with the Maya, together with everyone. Every stakeholder needs to be part of that discussion.
If you enjoyed this video and you want to get more from the definitive video channel for construction, make sure you're subscribed to the B1M.
Alright guys, so that's it for that. So that was my concern too, was the underground rivers throughout all of the Yucatan. So like, how safe is that train going to be going over top of these underground rivers? So that's a bit of a concern. I realize, like, I've seen the construction, they're building it up, you know, but still over time, now Cece's acting up now. You're going to have to wait 1 second. Let me open the door and let him outside. 1 second, guys. Hey, get up. Yeah, so that's a concern I have as well with that train. And the environmental impact, is the good really going to outweigh the bad? So leave me, like, what's your opinion? What do you guys think? I don't know. I hope, I'm always a guy that likes to think positive all the time, so I'm hoping that the good is going to outweigh the bad. I like to look at the positive side of life all the time, so I pray that it does. But I also worry about the safety of the train, the people that are riding the train as well, right? Like, never mind the environmental impact, but the safety as well of just the train. So with the underground rivers, and all of the Yucatan has got underground caverns, rivers flowing through it, right? So that ground is not stable in a lot of spots. So anyway, guys, we're going to just hop on here one more time. I'm going to take another look at a short little video of this project that George is involved in. And it is, he's selling property right now, and it's close to Merida. I posted it on our community page. You can click the link and go to this website here as well and check it out if you want. I personally think it's a good investment because I believe, from the feedback that I've seen and heard, people are excited about this train, I think, for the most part. And people want to be a part of it. They want to be close to it. They want to ride it. You know, contrary to what a lot of people believe, you know, people have money here in Mexico. They can afford to ride this train, and they want to travel, and they will use it greatly, absolutely. So I think this is a really good project, and the Yucatan is booming right now. You know, people are flocking here from all over the world, and they're flocking here from other parts of Mexico as well. Like, you know, prime example, George and Jessica, they're not from here. They're from, you know, George is from Mexico City, Jessica's from Chiapas. They moved here for the safety. There's people in this Bravada, other Mexicans that have moved here from other states because of the safety. So many Mexicans are moving to Merida area because of the safety. There's a lot of young families here because they want to come here to Merida and raise their kids where it's safe. So they're flocking here. the Mexicans are flocking here to the Yucatan area. It's booming here. It's not just the gringos that are coming here. So people really got to get that through their heads that it's the Mexicans are flocking here as well. Lots of them. I've met a lot of people from all over Mexico that don't live here. They're not from the Yucatan. So anyway, guys, we'll carry on with this other little quick video. I just want to show you guys this. Find it. Where did I put it? Here we go. I believe that this is a really good investment. And if Jennifer and I had the money, we'd be buying into this property. It's pretty affordable. So, and I know they've sold quite a few parcels of land here already. Lots. And you can get, there's only a few corner lots left. Like all the corner lots were bought up pretty quick. So you can still get in on, there's a couple corner lots left. You can still get in on those if you're interested. So we'll just take a quick look at this video here, guys. And my email is in the community page if you want to get in touch with us, and I can give you George's contact information. So this is going to be like a small city, really. It's going to be a city suburb just outside of Merida eventually. The groundwork is already done. The services are already in. The water and sewer is already there. And the electrical. And it will be fiber optics, I'm sure. There will definitely be fiber optics in that as well. It's going to be state of the art everything, right? So this is also going to be like a 5-minute drive from the train station just outside of Merida. So that's it, guys. Okay, so let's take a quick look at this here. So this is their website, the Capella. So over 1,200 residential lots, 245 meters to 450 meters, so pretty big lots. You know, water, service, electrical, landscape design, green areas, roundabouts, storm drain, no maintenance fee. So there's gonna be no maintenance fee, obviously street lighting, and that word ciclovia is bicycle paths. There's gonna be a man-made lake there as well. I don't know if you've seen that in the video. And then there's going to be a school on site as well. And then there's also going to be a gas station and infrastructure for urban transport. So bus stop and a shopping area as well. So the amenities, basketball court, soccer field, meditation area, picnic area, jogging area, grill, so barbecue area, cycling area, calisthenics area, workout, skating area, skateboard, floral garden, pet park, and an artificial lake and kayak. So they're going to have kayaks as well. And I do believe Jorge said that they're likely going to stock that lake eventually too with fish. So that's it right there, just outside of Merida. So you got the peripheral right here, you know, the ring road, they call it the peripheral, goes around Merida. And then this is the highway right here that goes to Cancun to the Caribbean. So, you come out here, you go left, you're in the Merida, go right, and you're heading to the Caribbean. And also you got Homoon down this way where all the cenotes are. It's a town full of thousands of cenotes. Chichen Itza's on this highway not far. So it's really a killer location. It's just a great location. You're only about a half-hour drive, not even to Homoon. Probably 20 minutes to Homoon, 15, 20 minutes where all the cenotes are. Hundreds and hundreds of different cenotes. So, yeah, the location is just amazing, I believe. I believe it's a great location. So this is just the first phase right here. I don't know how well you can see my mouse there moving around, and then the second phase will be in behind the lake. So yeah, that's it, guys. If you're interested in this project at all, feel free to reach out to us. I can hook you up with Jorge. It's just raw land, even to buy it for an investment. That's what me and Jennifer were thinking. Buy it for an investment, hold on to it a couple of years, 3 years, flip it for double the money. Because that's what's happening right now. There's people that are buying land, buying property, and selling it within 2, 3, 5 years. I've heard a few stories already of people who, out on the beach have bought land and in Merida bought property and whatnot and have flipped it. So, or build your dream home, either or, right? So, all right, my friends, that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for being here and watching this with me, guys. I really appreciate it. And as always, peace out. Have yourselves a good night. Hasta luego. God bless everybody out there, and peace on earth.